Welcome to this broadcast of the closure of the social project called Hatching Hope, incubando esperanza. This is the closure of a great project from Heifer International, Mexico, seeking to benefit 100 million people in India, Kenya, and Mexico in the coming years. This project promotes food self-sufficiency, economic sustainability, and local development of rural communities, having an economic income through the installation of poultry farms for the production of backyard eggs. This afternoon, we will share with you the accomplishments reached in our country and in the voice of the management of Heifer Mexico. You will also learn the core stories of two women producers from Oaxaca and Puebla, whose voices and faces represent the spirit, the collaborative work, and the hope that has been hatched in different communities. Hatching Hope Mexico used the market systems approach to improve nutrition and economic livelihoods by supporting and working with small-scale poultry farming families to improve their production, succeed in markets, and increase demand by promoting the nutritional value of their products. Oaxaca is the state with the greatest participation in this project, both in terms of the number of municipalities and the households benefited. 43 localities of this state were working in this project in the Central Valleys, Isthmus, and the coast. Let's watch the video to learn about Hatching Hope Mexico, incubando esperanza. Hatching Hope Mexico, Incubando Esperanza is a project that will benefit directly over 700 egg-producing families by strengthening their practices in farming and entrepreneurships that will help the rural communities of Puebla, Oaxaca, and Chiapas. Backyard egg helps your body and strengthens your body. It has vitamins, proteins, and it doesn't alter cholesterol. It gives the poultry a decent place to live where they can exercise. They are monitored in their health. They use supplementary foods like forage. They are not altered for their growth. All of this with the hands of farmers' hands. Hatching Hope is part of a project of Heifer International Mexico, seeking to end poverty with activities that reduce environmental impact and restore the social fabric, encouraging the power of women, the families in general, and the community collaboration. Until 2019, over 234,000 families, so they can have a living income and improve their economic livelihoods through a direct linkage to the market and to companies. Hatching Hope Mexico improves the lives of farmers. A chicken that is healthy produces a healthy egg. Consume backyard eggs. The positive results from Hatching Hope Mexico are clear in each of the stages of the project. These will be shared below by the manager. The positive results derived from Hatching Hope Mexico are clear in each of the stages of the project, and the positive results derived from Hatching Hope Mexico are clear in each of the stages of the project, and these will be shared by the manager of Hatching Hope Mexico, Jorge Chiquin. It's a pleasure for me to tell you more about the implementation of Hatching Hope and talking about the accomplishments that we could get with this implementation. The project initially was proposed to improve the livelihoods and nutrition through the production and promotion of poultry farming. And the idea was to involve 1,045 families in the states of Chiapas, Oaxaca, and Puebla. And in this way, achieved to increase the living income and close the living income gap by 33%. That was the main goal with which Hatching Hope worked for the past 3 years. The main actions of the project were focused on training and technical assistance in different issues, in working with female and male farmers and improving their organization, especially in backyard egg production. This usually happens at a small scale, so it is necessary to link to the markets and therefore have different strategies in terms of organization so that the product can be collected and offer a different business strategy collectively with a different volume, with a higher volume that is interesting to the markets. One of the limitations to get the families to grow their flock is the financial aspect. So Hatching Hope focused on activities that sought to link the farmers to different financial mechanisms in order for them to grow their flocks. And the project worked with the markets, with market actors in the value chain, in things that have to do with commercial aspects like inputs, as well as with specific clients. And it also worked with organizations and support entities that are part of the market system and that have a fundamental role for the farmers, small-scale farmers in these rural communities to work better and more efficiently with the markets. We also worked with another axis, which is women's empowerment. And in this case, the project promoted access to productive resources, and the participation of women is important in decision making, both in spaces that are related to business, in the organizations, to strengthen the market's linkage, as well as in their households and community spaces as well. And Heifer also works with the environment, seeking to implement the project without any environmental damage and using climate smart practices to reduce any kind of environmental situations where we know that with the climate change, it's something that we need to consider in terms of creating resilience and helping resilience, sustainability. I think it is important to give you more ideas about the implementation, about the challenges that we had some months after the project started. We faced the pandemic. It happened worldwide, and the project had challenges in aspects like the conditions for the implementation, and also we had to mitigate different situations happening in rural households. There was this different places of how to move with the lockdown, and this also changed the dynamics of the project. But also we had other changes, and then with how the things are going back to normal with the market, then we have again to have another change, adjust to the changes for the farmers, for the farms. And this was represented especially creating this resilience and adaptation to the conditions of the market. And we think that the project offered communities, women, and families the opportunity to mitigate the situation of the pandemic with the effects that we all know in terms of economic activity. If we talk about the achievements, we can say that the living income gap was close 37%, which surpassed the initial goal of the 33%. So in this way, we believe that the project achieved the main target, the main goal, which is improving the income of these families. 75% of the families, participating families, adopted 8 climate smart practices, at least 8, and this creates a friendly system with the environment and resilient, and it also creates resilience. We have made the measurements saying that over 83% of the families that participated improved their decision-making, improved their joint decision-making in their household, which is one of the actions that are promoted in terms of women's empowerment. And we see there's a correlation between the participation of women in decision-making and eventually this affects their involvement in the capacity of the family of creating income. 67% of the women that participated in the project could get a role of leadership in their community. So this means that they can project themselves towards their community, and this creates a positive effect, a spillover effect with the training and with the strengthening that was provided by Hatching Hope. From the organizations that the project promoted, 91% of the leadership positions or roles were occupied by women. The project doesn't make any kind of discrimination in favor of men. It promotes the participation of women with a family focus, and the activity related to the farms to produce eggs is a very good space for women to have a leadership role, a dominant role in these activities. In terms of organization and associativity, we could strengthen 14 self-help groups. These groups are informal groups based on affinity, proximity, and they work in favor of production and marketing of the product. These groups, as they move forward with their organizational development, they can eventually become organizations that are more formal, more serious, with better growth, with better size, with more membership in terms of what they can, how they can link to the market and how they can help the development of the community. And also the project could strengthen or formalize 6 associative farmer companies. These companies, 3 of them had to do with commercial aspects where organizations could promote the involvement of farms to collect their products and market them in social and urban areas. But we also helped with the creation of poultry committees that work in a wider space, geographically speaking, and they also have this opportunity to represent these farmers in that geographical region. Also strengthening business linkages, the growth of their income, and we think that they can be market actors that can exercise a positive influence for the benefit of many more farmers. And this element provides sustainability to the actions that the project has implemented. Hatching Hope uses a procedure of sharing resources through the contributions that are given initially. That's what we call passing on the gift, where farmers share knowledge or assets that have been given to them first, and once they replicate this becomes shared with other farmers. So it's another element that provides sustainability. And we have recorded 250 instances of passing on the gift with knowledge. Sometimes it's resources like chickens or any other resources, which is a mechanism that provides sustainability of the project. These are the mechanisms that we promote, and we hope that the organizations can also absorb as part of their practices, because it helps strengthening. In terms of training, our training program reached over 1,000 farmers. We recorded around 2,500 hours of training provided in terms of raising poultry, so that farmers can really command this activity, but also in other issues such as the market, entrepreneurship, of how to link to the markets, how to strengthen internally, how these organizations can have better governance, and as I was mentioning, also environmental and women's empowerment issues. So this has been a pillar to create these skills, the social capital that helps female and male farmers to be successful in the market. On the other hand, we estimate that around 228 job positions were created as self-employment, but we believe that there are farms that once they reach a certain success in the market, they can continue growing. And the idea is that with mechanisms that we have promoted, some of these farms can increase their flocks. They can eventually get loans, link better to the market, and at some point they can offer more job positions and with all the economic livelihoods that they can create. We involved over 55 market actors that were working with the farms, and these market actors provide inputs like feed, veterinary supplies, and any other inputs needed by the farms, but also we work with other supporting actors that offer services like trainings, assistance, accompaniment in certification, animal certification, and with this integration with market actors, farmers also get more strengthened to interact with the market at different levels and improve their participation in the market. In terms of productivity, we had farms that had a specific level of work and knowledge in managing farms at a household level. So from that point on, we could increase productivity by 7%, and there was a mortality rate that was decreased by 5%, helping the farmers to be more successful in the market. Another important aspect in terms of the financial support, the project linked or partnered with El Buen Socio, which is a financial agency, to develop a bespoke product for these rural female and male farmers, and to offer, so it could offer a loan allowing them to increase their flock at first and have the resources to use them in their entrepreneurial activities. 900 families could be linked to this organization. They obtain information about the loan and in terms of financial education, and 148 families could get a loan approved. We know that this support is important given the risks of the activity. This activity, productive activity, is not considered by the formal financial institution. So creating this alternative is important in terms of the way that farmers can have the resources and the mechanisms to get inserted into economic activities. This is in general what the project can highlight as the most relevant accomplishments it has had, and we are very happy and proud with all this implementation that we have achieved with the families, with these farming families. Thank you. Thank you to the manager of Hatching Hope Mexico, Jorge Chiquin. Thank you for the information. And right now I am with the executive director of Heifer Mexico, Gustavo Maldonado. How are you today? I'm fine, thank you. So if you can tell us a little bit more about what Heifer International is and what Heifer Mexico is. Heifer International is an organization that has an impact in different countries in the world, in fact more than 20, and it has been working in Mexico for over 40 years, and we have impacted and worked together with 500,000 people, 500,000 families in Mexico. Thank you. What is the main objective to close this gap, this living income gap where Heifer Mexico participates? As you say, a living income is the main goal of Heifer International, which means that we work with farmers, female and male farmers, rural farmers, that improving their productivity, quality, linking them to the market, they can have access to better prices and increase their income. The income, we consider it is a living income when it is enough for the indispensable activities in life. We consider that it's a living income when it is enough for the indispensable activities like housing, education, and diet. All the work of Heifer Mexico and Heifer International is to improve their livelihood. We consider it's a living income when it is enough for the minimum things that are indispensable in life, like clothing, like diet, like education and housing. All the work of Heifer International focuses to improve the income of the female and male families. Something that is very much promoted is the inclusion of women. Why and how do you do that? Well, we cannot exclude from the development half the population, that is women. Women face a lot of discrimination just because of being women, being poor, being rural, and being indigenous. So the very same woman can face all these types of discrimination, and it's really important to change this and including them in the development of the country. How do we do this? Working directly with the community, working directly with the women in that community, empowering them and teaching, training, so they can have sustainable businesses and they can make an income. And with that income, the situation changes for the family. That is part of what Heifer International does, just like Hatching Hope does. And we're going to listen from two female farmers. But before that, let's talk about the creation and the constant creation of partnerships. Why is this important? The problem of poverty is so big that we cannot do it without alliances, without linking to other agents that are aligned with our cause. For example, I can tell you about access to financing. Rural communities these farmers, it's very difficult for them to have access to a fair financing. They usually have interest rates that are really, really high through local agencies. And part of the work that we do is linking them to financial institutions that can give them access to a loan that has much lower interest rates. That is something that we did in Hatching Hope, and that is one example of why partnerships are important. And in the framework of closing this project like Hatching Hope, what is the invitation of the people so they can know more about Heifer and they can learn about the strategies that you implement? They can know more about our website, that is Heifer Mexico.org. It's very important for us that they can know what farmers are doing, not only under Hatching Hope, but under other different projects from Heifer. It's important that we support the consumption of what is produced locally, that we understand the value added that all these products that are being created have from the women that are going to tell you in a moment, because it's an egg that is a quality egg, that is an egg produced from chickens that live free, they are not in a cage, and that is also really important, and that also helps even the environment to have a sustainable environment. And it's very important for people to get to know this so we can learn to consume better, consume local, and help the improvement of rural communities. Gustavo Maldonado, Executive Director of Heifer Mexico, thank you for all this valuable information. Thank you. And talking about this participation of women, we are going to listen to a testimony from one farmer from Villana Trabajando. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Mónica Judith Mendoza Luis. I am an egg producer from Hatching Hope, Mexico. We are located in Villa de Sachila in the state of Oaxaca. And I started in Hatching Hope in 2020. When we got started with our participation, well, I need to tell you too that we have been working with another project since 2016. And from all this period of time, these 4 years, our production had been little in terms of how many eggs we produced, and we didn't have the skills and all the abilities to increase our production as we have it now. It was in 2020 when we started participating in Hatching Hope, and thanks to them, and with the help of the facilitators and the technicians in the region, they supported us a lot in terms of training, of how to feed our poultry, vaccination, how we could hatch fertile eggs, and other issues, for example, how to link to the market, to sell our eggs, our production costs, and also other formal aspects like the creation of the company, the legal paperwork that we needed to get incorporated, and to start working in a more formal market. With these trainings, we could increase our skills, our capacity, and we saw the productive potential that we could have in the area. So we got together as a group to move from a self-help group to a partnership, a rural partnership. Our partnership is called Villana Trabajando, which means in Zapotec, brothers at work. It is 12 different farmers. All of us live in the municipality of Sachila, and we have a farm where we shelter 1,750 poultry in production, and we have an infrastructure that is communal. So from a production that we had our households, we moved all of this to an area, to a space where we have our poultry, all of us, and we have this space or this availability to take care of the birds. Now we use all this time to get involved in other activities that are related, like selling selling the eggs and promoting ourselves on social media and promoting in other different aspects. And it helps to have to develop these economic activities, and it also is cost effective and time effective. We are a rural partnership, again, Vishana Trabajando, Brothers at Work, with variable capital. And I was telling you that it's 12 producers and 7 families are involved for these 12 farmers. This has helped us a lot because thanks to the support of our families, we have been able to increase our self-consumption. And we have seen that as women that participate in the group, we can have an active participation in the economy of our families, and our family relationships have improved because all the members of the family are involved in the activities, from the youngest ones, like picking the eggs and cleaning them, to the rest of the family. For example, our husbands, they help us deliver the eggs, and they are very much involved in that. And with that, we have seen the benefits. And despite the difficult times right now, given the pandemic, this project has helped us a lot to have a source of income that is a secure source and that has been really successful given the value of involving all the family in this activity, in producing a quality egg that, in addition, markets, both local and regional markets, have seen, and they have accepted our eggs really well because they can see the quality. Also, in the community, they already see us as a group, as a production group that we are, and we have had activities in the communities, and they show us, they see us as an example and set us as an example in terms of our organization in the community, to have a purpose, a community purpose that is a productive purpose. And also we are linked to the commerce in local markets because we move our product inside the community, and also in the city of Oaxaca, where we currently do the deliveries at specific addresses or at specific points of sale where you can find us. And I was telling you that we started with very small production with 50 poultry only, and we have participated in Rural Entrepreneurs Project, where we started with passing on the gift. They gave us these flocks of 50 chickens, and that's how we got started. But then we started growing our production, and now with Hatching Hope, when we became participants, and in agreement with El Buen Socio, they gave us the opportunity to increase our production with loans. So we could do the passing on the gift to more families, and with that we could get the first loan for production. And then we increased our production again with a second loan, and we are still on the path to continue growing. I was telling you that we are a rural partnership, and the project has really helped us so much. I want to thank Cargill and Heifer International for all your support towards our production. to everything you have given us, and you should be really proud for everything you have achieved in our favor. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram, and I can give you my telephone number, which is 951-2376-416, where you can reach me to get our products. Thank you. After listening to Mónica Mendoza Luis, leader of this project, we can show you some more information about Vishana trabajando.
Que estamos nosotros
Brothers at Work,
para poder sufragar a lo mejor algunos gastos en los que no se cuenta, independientemente de lo del alimento, la venta y todo esto. Tenemos el fondo, ahorramos 180 pesos, es como mínimo, cada quien puede ahorrar más. Es un buen negocio, económicamente es redituable, sale para el alimento, sale para las vitaminas, sale para las vacunas y para llevar pues sustento a nuestras casas. Los que estamos en Heifer tenemos aproximadamente dentro de 100 a 200 gallinas. Ya como grupo, este es nuestro primer lote que nos llegó, son 600 gallinas. Nosotros, bueno, algunos productores estaban en cero en cuanto a capacitación, el manejo de las aves, de las galeras, todo. Entonces se nos dio capacitación desde instalaciones, insumos, cuidado de las aves, sanidad, el alimento que debemos suministrarle, el área de pastoreo. En primera tenemos beneficios, pues al ser 10 personas, pues el trabajo disminuye mucho, ya no tenemos, ahorita estas gallinas todavía no empiezan a poner, pero una vez les faltan 3 semanas. Una vez que empiezan a poner, cada uno de nosotros ya tiene designada una función dentro del grupo.
Dentro del grupo mi función es preparar el abono orgánico que va saliendo de la pollinaza hasta convertirlo ya para que se pueda utilizar como fertilizante. Empezamos casi con la pandemia y pues como que nos dio el bajón. Digamos, hacía muchas... Bueno, a mí en lo personal como que sí fue un poco duro encontrar como que clientes o mercado. Digamos, para empezar eran pocas las aves y digamos cuando ya voy a encontrar un mercado como tal, el mercado pues es muy amplio.
Son varios proyectos que tenemos en puerta. El primero que teníamos en puerta es hacer unas galeras. Entonces pues destinamos este espacio que está bastante amplio para la construcción de las galeras. Ese es el primero. La otra es la de incubación de huevos para surtir nuestras propias granjas y también para producir gallinas para que podamos ofrecérselas a los demás productores de las demás granjas que hay en la región y del estado. El acopio más que nada se centra en el acopio de huevo. A esto nosotros nos favorece porque nosotros podemos ir a buscar y tener contacto con empresas que tengan que nos pidan mayor volumen de compra. También otras funciones que hay una vez que se empiecen a poner los huevos es la clasificación y manejo del huevo, en que se cumplan con las normas de sanidad en las aves y también en la producción del huevo, de inocuidad. Sí les agradezco mucho a Heifer y a Cargill. Con Cargill ya fuimos beneficiados nosotros anteriormente con un alimento que nos sirvió muchísimo en este tema de la pandemia, nos cayó súper bien. A Heifer pues les agradecemos mucho que desde que entramos a esta iniciativa con ustedes, nosotros hemos podido aumentar significativamente toda la producción que nosotros hemos tenido y en general a los donadores por hacer posible que nosotros podamos seguir creciendo, tener un ingreso estable ya para nuestra familia y que pues podamos seguir cumpliendo nuestros sueños y proyectos.
Hatching Hope Mexico thus promotes the participation of women in decision-making in the household jointly and equitably, as well as the participation of women in leadership positions and their inclusion in the market. This is illustrated by the testimony of María de Jesús García Jiménez, treasurer of the AQIC Xochitl Regional Poultry Committee. Good afternoon, my name is María de Jesús García Jiménez. I am a farmer and the producers in Hatching Hope in the northern Sierra of Puebla. I started participating 3 years ago in Rural Entrepreneurs Project. The project was sought to provide food security for our families. We started learning in poultry issues, and we started with 50 chickens per family, with the commitment to pass on the gift based on the cornerstones that Heifer has. Later on, the project Hatching Hope started in January 2020, and we continued learning more things with the trainings that they provided, specifically by the market facilitator and the poultry technician. We also had the support of promoters along this journey of 2 years. And we created a committee that comprises 10 female farmers of the community of Xocoyolapan, Huahuasla. Currently, there is a lot of interest on the part of the families of the communities in terms of poultry farming. For many of these families that want to renew or renovate their farms, so we decided to create a bigger committee, the regional committee that is Aquitzochil, that comes from Nahuatl, and it is for the two sierras, the northern, for the two sierras, the northeastern sierra, that is for Aquixtla, and the northern sierra, that is for Xochitlan, which means flower of water. In the committee, 5 members work. I am the treasurer. Our president is Concepcion Garcia Jimenez. Secretary Petronila Mejia. We have 2 other partners, Araceli Casilla Vadillo and Atalia Josefina Huerta Hernandez. We started with the farms that participate in the Hatching Hope project to give continuity to all the activities that we had developed, like repopulation of farms, linking to market actors, and joint sales, collaborating with some institutions and municipalities that are interested in the work that we are doing. If you want, you can try our products and get to know us better. On screen, you will see our numbers as well as our Facebook page and our email. Thank you. The presence of Hatching Hope Mexico in the communities of Puebla is also outstanding in 12 municipalities distributed into regions Sierra Norte and Sierra Nororiental. I invite you to learn about more the success story of Lidia Santiago Lopez, a producer from the Poultry Committee of the Senate.
Lidia Santiago López. Soy de la comunidad de Xocoyolapan, pertenezco al municipio de Xochitlán de Vicente Suárez. Nos empezaron a explicar cómo está el proyecto de Hatching Hope, entonces decidimos entrar porque pues nos ofrecieron un crédito, el cual nosotras pues significa que ya habíamos pasado la prueba de que sí podemos, somos rentables para ese tipo de proyecto. Aparte de necesidad, también fue un interés porque a mí me llamó mucho la atención de que cuando recibimos las 50 gallinas nos daban talleres, cómo vamos a vacunar, cómo vamos a desparasitar, cómo vamos a vender huevo, cómo limpiar huevo. Entonces todo eso para mí fue interesante. Posteriormente, cuando nos ofrecen el crédito de Hatching Hope, pues sin duda lo aceptamos con las de mi grupo. Actualmente somos 10. Se llama Flor de la Sierra. En náhuatl significa Xochitl Inaltepetl. Pues sí me ayudó porque brindaron ese crédito, pues recibimos las gallinas, recibimos en efectivo en el cual que pues nos indicaba que era para la alimentación de las gallinas y un poco de infraestructura para igual, para lo mismo. Pero sí nos ha beneficiado bastante. Sí aumentó porque anteriormente pues comprábamos el huevo, que nos costaba 20 pesos el medio y pues no era tan de buenas condiciones. Nuestros niños o niñas los limitábamos porque solamente se comían un huevo, dos huevos. Posteriormente ya no, ahora ya no les limitamos, ahora pues se comen los que quieran. Aparte de eso, pues cuando vamos a vender huevo y pues ya no queremos comer huevo en la casa, pero ya vendimos y ya compramos 1 kilo de carne, lo intercambiamos. Estamos recogiendo entre 120 y 130 huevos diarios. Sí nos ayuda porque anteriormente no habíamos escuchado esto ahora sí que ya nos cayó como algo mágico porque no lo habíamos escuchado antes. Ya en la historia nos cuentan de lo que es Heifer, pero antes nunca lo habíamos escuchado. Vamos a aprender cómo picar una gallina, cómo alimentarla, cómo la vamos a curar si es que se nos enferma, cómo desparasitarla. Posteriormente venían otras personas que nos daban cursos del cómo, qué gramaje va a llevar nuestro huevo, cómo lo vamos a vender, cómo lo vamos a limpiar, dónde lo vamos a vender o cómo vamos a vender o cómo vendemos, todo eso. Hemos recibido así capacitaciones. Pues sí hay personas que se interesan en los créditos, siempre y cuando pues hay que cumplir con los requisitos. Aparte de eso, pues la responsabilidad y pues mucha actitud, ¿no? Mucho trabajo también. Pero pues si hay personas que les interesa, yo pues les aconsejaría que pues es bonito. Sí cuesta porque hemos batallado mucho desde que empezamos hasta ahorita. En donde estamos hemos batallado, pero aquí estamos y pues nuestra meta es llegar más arriba. Y qué bueno que se incorporaran otras personas para poderles compartir lo que nosotras ya sabemos, lo que hemos aprendido, porque pues yo estoy segura que hay muchas personas que quisieran aprender y no tienen la oportunidad, pero con nosotras nos gustaría que se incorporaran más personas para poder compartirles nuestra experiencia de lo que nosotras hemos vivido. El alimento que Cargill nos mandó pues sí nos sirvió de mucho, muchas gracias. Todo eso nos han apoyado, nunca nos han dejado solas y esperemos que nunca nos dejen solas, que siempre estén visitándonos. Aquí serán bienvenidos todos y todas y pues a echarle ganas, seguir trabajando. Le agradezco a Cargill y a Heifer, pues muchísimas gracias y que no se olviden de Xochitl y Naltepetl.
This would not be possible without the support of the donors Heifer and Cargill, the latter of which has sent us a message addressed to the Hatching Hope producers. Hello to all the people that are joining us today. My name is Leslie Gonzalez, and on behalf of Cargill, I want to tell you thank you. Thank you to the teams of Heifer and Cargill that made it possible for this great initiative, Hatching Hope, to be a reality in Mexico. Thank you to the facilitating teams and the technicians and the administrative teams, but especially I want to thank the female and male farmers that believed in this global project to make a positive impact on their economy, on their families, and on their community. Thank you, really thank you, because without your trust, participation, and commitment, the results that we have presented today wouldn't be possible. And for Cargill, it is fundamental to help farmers to thrive. That is why we feel proud to be able to contribute with self-sufficiency, the economic development, and community development to over 2,500 people in 67 communities of Chiapas, Oaxaca, and Puebla through the Hatching Hope initiative. Our purpose of feeding people sustainably and safely wouldn't be possible if we didn't work hand in hand with partners like Heifer in Mexico and in the world, because this initiative is also happening in India and Kenya. However, today we are making a stop in our way to celebrate the results that we have achieved in Mexico, in our country, and this is worth celebrating. Finally, congratulations to you all and many, many thanks. Thanks to you all. Thank you for joining us in this closure of the project Hatching Hope, incubando esperanza. Thank you for your attention, and we will end with the presentation of a video where we will show you how Hatching Hope Mexico has promoted the self-help groups, how the entrepreneurs have been legally incorporated, and how they visualize themselves in 5 years, especially thanking the donor who has been at all times to see how these producers have been doing with their growth. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hola, mi nombre es Mónica Judith Mendoza Luis, soy representante legal de la SPR Villana Trabajando. Estamos ubicados en la Villa de Sachila, en el estado de Oaxaca, en el proyecto Hatching Hope de Heifer Internacional, y un agradecimiento también a los donantes de Cargill. Nosotros empezamos con unas producciones pequeñas en nuestros domicilios, pero gracias al proceso que hemos tenido con el proyecto de Heifer Internacional, el proyecto Hatching Hope, hemos tenido mucho fortalecimiento para el grupo.
Mi nombre es Jerónimo Mendoza García. Actualmente contamos con un total de 1,700 aves. Nuestro objetivo a largo plazo es contar con 5,000 aves. Hemos visto muy buenos resultados.
Mi nombre es Silvina Yasmín Bolaños Caballero, soy integrante del grupo Villana Trabajando y queremos agradecer al donante de Cargill porque gracias a ellos nos hemos logrado constituir legalmente y estamos en proceso de una certificación en bienestar animal.
Gracias, Cargill.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María de Jesús García Jiménez. Pertenezco al Comité Regional del Estado de Puebla.
Mi nombre es Concepción García Jiménez, soy presidenta del Comité Regional Aquixochitl. Puedo comentar que las capacitaciones brindadas por el área técnica y área de facilitación nos han permitido aprender, poder en estos momentos compartir con los demás productores. Podemos dar asistencias en cuanto al cuidado de sus aves, al manejo que pueden llevar.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Petronila Mejía Santiago. Somos un grupo de mujeres emprendedoras, el cual está dedicado a las actividades avícolas dentro de la región. Buscamos principalmente satisfacer las necesidades de los productores.
Mi nombre es Lidia Santiago López. A nombre de mi grupo y de las mujeres que ahorita están presentes y de las mujeres que se quedaron en casa, me corresponde representarlas y darle gracias a Cargill. Gracias, Cargill.
Mi nombre es Lucía Guadalupe García, soy la tesorera. Somos el Comité Avícola Región del Valle, del Nido a tu Mesa.
Mi nombre es Laura Rodríguez, actualmente mi puesto dentro del comité, soy presidenta del Comité Avícola de Traspatio, Región del Valle. Nos conformamos de puras mujeres y como veo yo el comité dentro de 5 años, es un comité fortalecido que pueda brindar apoyo y sostenibilidad a pequeños productores.
Mi nombre es Erika López. Llegar hasta aquí es muy bonito y quisiera yo que llegar más lejos y seguir adelante. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias, Cargill.
Muy buenas tardes, su servidor Francisco Valerio, que dignamente representa este grupo avícola de Costa Istmo. Soy presidente. Somos un grupo de 45 productores, el cual estamos enfocados a la producción de aves y a la producción de huevo.
Mi nombre es Alicia Antonio Zárate. Actualmente estamos produciendo huevo y también carne. Nos vemos a 5 años, en un futuro, como mayores, en este caso productores, ya en mayor volumen, en mayor, ahora sí, venta, sobre todo no solo en la región, en el estado, y además que nos reconozcan nuestro trabajo, que a veces no es visibilizado, como se decía, y que de alguna manera nos fortalezca para que aumentemos el número de socios y de afiliados.
Gracias, Cargill.
Mi nombre es Ángel Julián Caballero, soy representante legal de la Sociedad de Producción Rural, Unión de Productores Agropecuarios para el Desarrollo Comunitario del Estado de Oaxaca. Actualmente tenemos una población de 1,250 gallinas en producción. Actualmente nos estamos constituyendo legalmente en Sociedad de Producción Rural gracias al apoyo de Hatching Hope de Heifer, en el cual ahorita estamos en ese proceso.
Mi nombre es Sikim Caballero Ramírez, formo parte del grupo. La experiencia que tenemos es muy buena, nosotros nos apoyamos, es decir, cuando los compañeros tienen alguna entrega o suficientemente grande y no tienen algún producto, nosotros cooperamos o aportamos para la venta y esto nos beneficia a nosotros como productores porque nosotros le damos salida a nuestros huevos.
Mi nombre es Pilar Caballero y soy socia del grupo. Considero que en 5 años nos proyectamos de una forma de que seamos una empresa legalmente constituida, altamente reconocida por la calidad de nuestros productos.
Gracias, Cargill.